What do the Democratic primaries going on now have in common with an obscure 60-year-old European art film? Is it because both the movie and the primaries result in the same outcome, time after time after time? Are Democrats stuck in a movie like last year in Marienbad? Like the overdressed swells roaming the hotel? Maybe the Democratic Party is in some kind of trance. Hi, I'm Daniel Hopsiger. Years ago, after the hanging Chad vote snafu in Florida, I did a documentary looking at the processes involved in how Americans vote, with particular attention to just where the slip between the cup and the lip is most likely to have been programmed to occur. It was called The Big Fix 2000, and because I had been a business reporter at one time, I focused on answering a simple question. Who owned the election services companies? But what was most unnerving was how matter-of-fact it all seemed.
What prompted us is that every candidate that runs for office is allowed by law after the election, 3 days after the election, to go and check the machines. They just let us look at them and give us the numbers, and they thought all they had to do was do a check in the rear of the machine where you push a button and it gives you all the numbers. And that's what he did. He gave me a little long ticker tape coming out of the back of the machine and said, these are your results. And I said, well, that's nice, but I'd like to see how you got this number. And he says, well, this is all you have. Tell me how the machine worked. So he proceeded to open the machine and showed me, you push this number, and because it's in the certain mode, it'll give you your tally at the bottom in a liquid crystal display. So when you press your selection, it's supposed to show in the display. And then I noticed when I pressed my name that my name did not show up in the display with the total, that my opponent's name showed up. Pressing Bernecker at Gambaluka. Again, I'm pressing Bernecker, I got Gambaluka. And I was like, oh my God.
But there's something else I need to tell you about first, just in case I really am going crazy. The sense of unreality, the spooky feeling, the queasy sense of deja vu that I've been walking around with for a few weeks from watching the same thing happen over and over again during each of the last 4 presidential voting cycles. Like I've been stuck watching the same reel of last year in Marienbad, the old European art pic. Last year in Marienbad is about eternal recurrence, the idea that existence has been recurring and continues to recur. A guy meets a beautiful woman he had an affair with a year ago in the same hotel, but she doesn't remember him. He's got to rescue her from the clutches of her evil husband who looks like Terry McAuliffe checking in at Caesars. Exit polls detect election fraud by measuring the deviance between how people say they voted when questioned as they exit against the machine tally of votes. In Massachusetts, a huge red flag immediately went up. Biden's vote exceeded his exit polling by a huge number. In today's America, that can mean only one thing. A deviance of 3% is considered a red flag, means something bad happened. In Massachusetts, Biden's deviance was more than 8%. Sanders won the exit poll, yet he lost the computer count in ways which cannot currently be explained. So let's consider. Here's Joe Biden, who's been an utterly lackluster candidate, hanging on by his fingertips from what looks like a very weak beam, who hadn't spent any money or campaigned in a Super Tuesday state in over a month, had no organization, and no offices in any of the states voting. What happened on Super Tuesday must be considered an act of God, maybe even a miracle. Certainly a Lourdes meets Fatima scale event. It takes real guts and fortitude to continue to report a dispiriting reality just because it continues to exist. I don't know how guys like Greg Palast do it, and my hat's off to him. Back in the day, I did some stories on Zad Jerry Fowler, Louisiana's Commissioner of Elections, who squandered $9 million of the state's money on worthless election equipment, while taking huge kickbacks from contractors working for Sequoia Pacific, still the second largest election services company, only under a different name now. Fowler's partner in the scheme was one Pasquale Rocco Risi from Marlton, New Jersey. Also, Pasquale bribing Jerry Fowler. After Fowler's sentencing, U.S. Attorney L.J. Heimel gave an impromptu press conference on the steps of the U.S. courthouse. But when a reporter asked the real question, the U.S. Attorney looked unpleasantly surprised.
Sir, is the man who bribed Mr. Fowler a member of organized crime?
I have no idea.
We still think it's a fair question.
Heimel indicated impatience with the toss of his silver mane head. I don't know, he replied. I persisted. You're the U.S. Attorney and you don't know if the man who bribed the State Commissioner of Elections for a decade belongs to organized crime? I quickly wished I hadn't. Two men in a nondescript federal car began tailing me as soon as I left the courthouse and only turned back once I'd crossed the Mississippi River. Asking whether Pasquale Rocco Risi of Marlton, New Jersey, who fixed the election in Louisiana in 2000, was a member of the mob is not a fit topic at the U.S. District Courthouse. Go figure.